I'm going to report about geometric design. Geometrical principles are founded on three fundamental notions. They are the point, line, and plane. We are unable to exactly define the traces. However, it relates to the positions mark and has an actual location. For example, calculating the angles of a triangle is an example of geometry. Line. Line vary in width, length, curvature, color, or direction. An example of line is fishing wire. Shape. Shape or plane figures are two-dimension figures in which all points lie in the same plane. Form. Form or shape or solid figures are three-dimensional, having height, width, and depth. Example of form is triangle, which is two-dimensional, is a shape. They form a pattern. Pattern and repetition. Patterns may have a variety of meaning and functions in design. Repetition focuses on the repetition of the same item. Balance. Balance is the arrangement of elements to create a sense of equilibrium and harmony. There are three types of balance: symmetry, asymmetry, and radial symmetry. An example of balance is being able to walk on a tightrope. Symmetry. Symmetry is a type of balance in which the shapes and patterns are identical on either sides of a central boundary. Example: reflection of tree in clear water and reflection of mountain in the lake. Asymmetry. Asymmetry is an arrangement of parts in which the opposite sides. Radial symmetry is a form of symmetrical balance in which the element of a composition radiates from a central point in a regular proportion. In art, proportion is the principle of design concerned with the size of relationship of part of a composition to each other and to the whole. Example of proportion: the ratio are said to be in proportion when the two ratios are equal. For example, the time taken by train to cover 50 km per hour is equal to the time taken by it to cover the distance of 250 km for.
Hi everyone, I am Anjumay F. Hurtado and I am assigned to report Van Hale theory of geometric thinking. The Van Hale theory describes how young people learn geometry. The theory originated in 1957 in the doctoral dissertations of Dina Van Hale Geltop and Pierre Van Hale at Utrecht University in the Netherlands. According to Pierre Van Hale, there are 5 levels of thinking or understanding in geometry. The first one is level 0, which is validation. They can recognize shapes by their whole appearance, but not its exact property. Level 1, analysis. Students start to learn and identify parts of figures as well as see figures in a class of shapes. Level 2, abstraction or informal deduction. Students in this level will start to recognize the relationships between properties of shapes. Level 3, deduction or formal deduction. Students can think about properties are related as well as relationship between axioms, theorems, postulates, and definitions. Last, level 4, rigor. In this level, students should be able to compare geometric results in different axiomatic systems. Importance of Van Hale theory. Geometric thinking is concerned with how people reason using the properties of geometric figures and spatial relationships. At the primary and intermediate level, a key purpose of learning geometry is to build a foundation of spatial exploration, geometric vocabulary, and ability to discuss, explain, and reason.
Properties of levels. It is inherent in the Van Hale theory that to understanding geometry, a person must go through the levels in order. We call this the fixed sequence property of levels. Fixed sequence. A student cannot be at level n without having gone through level n1. Therefore, the student must go through the levels in order. Adjacency. At each level, what was the intrinsic and the preceding level becomes extrinsic in the current level. Distinction. Each level has its own set of linguistic symbols and a network of connections between them. A linguistic symbol's meaning encompasses more than its official description. It also contains the experiences that the speaker relates with the symbol. What may be right on one level is not always correct on another. Separation. Two people with different levels of understanding are unable to communicate with one another. The teacher uses a distinct language with a lower level pupil. This feature, according to the Van Hales, was one of the primary causes of geometry failure. Attainment. Information, guided orientation, explanation, pre-orientation, and integration are the 5 steps of the learning process that leads to complete knowledge at the next level. They are rudely, not strictly sequential.
Good morning everyone, this is Karen and I was assigned to report the transformation. So what is transformation? So according to Jennifer Bedu, in geometry, transformation refers to the movement of objects in the coordinate plane. There are 4 types of transformation. So the first is rotation, next is translation, then dilation, and the last one is reflection. So first is rotation. So rotation is rotating an object about a fixed point without changing its size or shape. So you can see the distance from the center to any point of the shape stays the same. So every point makes a circle around the circle. For example, here a triangle is rotated around the point marked with a plus. Second is translation. So translation is moving an object in space without changing its size, shape, or orientation. In the picture, a translation moves every point of a figure or space by the same amount in a given direction. So the object is moving without changing its size or shape. So third is dilation. Dilation is expanding or contracting an object without changing its shape or orientation. Dilation can make a figure larger or smaller. For example, the first dilation below makes the triangle larger, the second dilation makes the triangle smaller. In a dilation, the original figure is called the framage, the dilated figure is called the image. The figures are dilated from a fixed point called the center of dilation. When you dilate a figure, the scale factor determines how much smaller or larger the image will be. So last is reflection. So reflection is flipping an object of line without changing its size of shape. So reflection has the same size as the original image. The central line is called the mirror line. So for example, so you can see the reflection through an axis from the red object to the green one, followed by a reflection green to blue. Across a second axis parallel to the first one results in the total motion that is a translation by an amount equal to twice between the two axes.
Good morning everyone, I'm Donna Miostol and my topic is Psychology of Shapes. So what is Psychology of Shape? Psychology of Shape is a science studying the influence of shapes on people. Psychology of Shape suggests that every shape has meaning attached to it, which influence our mind and reaction directly. The common shapes are rectangle, circles, rhombuses, and hexagon. According to Carla Darling, shapes are the basis of most design. Different shapes can evoke different meanings. Combining these two shapes, different ways can create entirely new meanings. For example, a favorite figure can tell about a person's character traits. A quickly chosen shape can show what's on the mind. The rectangle and square exude our balanced tradition, so these two shapes are the most widely used shapes and offer a sense of reliability and security. Circle are for infinity, protection, and femininity, so these shapes best portray the sense of eternity as they have no beginning or end. Circle don't have angles, so it makes them softer and milder. Triangles are for stability, energy, and aggression. So triangle is a dynamic, energetic, active, and powerful shape which that associates with motion and direction. Rhombus are vibrant and contemporary. So rhombus have many vibrations that can use in a variety of ways. And lastly, hexagon. Hexagon is for unity and balance. So
Good day everyone, my name is Laika Milugod and I will discuss to you how to use geometric patterns in designs. Kyla Darling enumerated 40 brilliant ways on how to use geometric pattern in the designs. So the first is, use patterns to create images. 2. Play with asymmetry. 3. Combine patterns to the photos. 4. Use lighting and shadows creatively. 5. Connect shapes in unique ways. 6. Make a collage. 7. Use diagonals. 8. Create asymmetric patterns. 9. Create patterns with font. 10. Play with symmetry. 11. Use pattern within patterns. 12. Keep it simple. 13. Think about different ways to use lines. 14. Create a theme. 15. Use gradients. 16. Create characters. 17. Combine several different images. 18. Enumerate an effect with shapes. 19. Create a background. 20. Create overlapping shapes. 21. Relate patterns to the subject. 22. Use patterns in the letters. 23. Use the patterns to alter image. 24. Choose colors that work together. 25. Use shapes to enhance the experience. 26. Create unique effects. 27. Create a banner. 28. Add simple animation. 29. Make it subtitle. 30. Use patterns to augment information. 31. Create hand-draw pattern. 32. Use patterns to highlight certain elements. 33. Combine several patterns. And 34. Choose a commonly used shapes. 35. Create a web between shapes. 36. Limit complex patterns. 37. Make it good real life, black and white. 38. Incorporate real life elements. 39. Accent other material. 40. Use patterns, smart